What's up, everybody? Rusty Buckets of the Two Buck Sports Show here with your Bucks 2 cents, talking Brandon Clarke injuries. I, like everybody else, had that gut check reaction today when Grizzlies PR announced that they were treating Brandon Clarke's PCL sprain conservatively and he was going to avoid surgery. I had ultimate PTSD and flashbacks to Steven Adams, but I don't think this is going to be the same, and I'll talk about why here in a minute. So Steven Adams missed the better part of 2 years because he treated it conservatively, ultimately had surgery, and no longer is with the Memphis Grizzlies. So Brandon Clarke injured his PCL. And your PCL is your posterior cruciate ligament. It works alongside your ACL to create knee stability, particularly in dynamic activities, but as well as day-to-day walking around. Your PCL, your posterior cruciate ligament, keeps your shin bone from going too far back on your thigh bone, creating knee instability. So in that, it works with your quadricep. Now, when you have an ACL tear, it works with your hamstring to keep your tibia or shin bone from going too far forward. Problem with that is your hamstring is fairly weak. It's not conducive to knee stability because it bifurcates or splits in two and goes around to the side of the tibia or your shin bone. Quadriceps, big four muscles converging into one thick tendon and attaching on the front of your shin. So it does a pretty good job of stabilizing your knee without a ton of help from the PCL. So even if there's a partial tear in there, he could still be okay. But if you've seen him on the sideline recently, he is in a straight leg immobilizer or a straight leg brace, knee immobilizer, preventing him from bending his knee, which is good right now, early stages. We want that thing to heal. Your body, which our bodies for thousands of years have healed themselves because, several hundred years ago, people weren't having ACL surgery. And so your body can kind of heal itself by laying down some collagen and some scar tissue, creating a union in that PCL once again. In the meantime, you want to immobilize. We're going to be doing a lot of ankle, hip strength, isometric quad and hamstring strengthening. So then when we come out of that brace in 2 to 4 weeks, we can start ramping up some exercise. With that, we're going to try and strengthen that quad as much as we can in a safe way that doesn't stress the PCL, again, allowing your body to lay down collagen. Over time, if that doesn't work, if it ruptures or is not healing, he could be a candidate for surgery in the future. But the fact that they're saying it's a unanimous decision across multiple consultations gives me hope that we've really exhausted all of our options here. And so by treating it conservatively, a guy who plays very athletic, above the rim, bounce kind of guy, this is good news considering he's 2 years removed from an Achilles surgery. The last thing he needs is another surgery, creating secondary scar tissue from the portholes and the surgery trauma that goes on. If we can get this thing to heal conservatively, this is best case scenario for Brandon Clarke. This is how he can come back to being the BC that we know following his Achilles surgery. I'm not as worried about this as I am Steven Adams. BC's not as big. He's definitely doesn't have the same history of knee issues that Steven Adams had coming into this injury. And so I think there's a good chance that this thing heals. And I think that good conservative physical therapy that treats it appropriately can have Brandon Clarke bouncy again and back being the BC of old. There's no guarantees. Again, graded sprains go from 1 to 4, 1 being just a stretching of the ligament, 4 being a complete rupture, a bulging. He's probably somewhere around a 3 with some partial tearing of the PCL. There's always a risk that he's going to completely tear it in the future in a workout, something like that. But we're going to wish good things. We're going to put it out there that this is going to go well and he's going to bounce back. So again, Brandon Clarke's done for this year, but being conservative this way, strengthening and getting him back means he could play next year, maybe even by the end of this calendar year. I think that's within the realm of possibilities. But if he had surgery, then we're looking at possibly the following year, not this upcoming season, but the next before he'd be ready. It's worth a shot with a guy like Brandon Clarke, who's still relatively young and has a decent history of no knee injuries, decent medical history there. I think it's worth a shot. I don't know that we need to let it go long as we did with Steven Adams. If this thing in the next 3 to 4 months is not responding, it's not healing, or it's not getting more stable for BC, then I think we need to start looking at surgery. But hey, we're going to wish the best. Like I said, the best thing we can do for Brandon Clarke is go beat the Celtics tonight and the Warriors tomorrow night, April 1st. So in the meantime, take a deep breath, Grizz Nation. We're going to be fine. BC is going to be fine. And go Grizz.